Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a no-holds-barred, loser-leaves-town episode of Assorted Crackers. I am Eric, and I'm here with Lee, the Batesville Bulldog, and Wilson, the Duck Slayer. Woo! Yeah, baby! And we are here to talk about the glory days of Memphis and Mid-South wrestling. What do you think? Are we ready to climb into the ring?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's go!
All right, guys. Now, this is one you both grew up in the area during the heyday of Memphis wrestling. I did not. So I don't have quite the depth of stories that I expect that you're going to have on Memphis wrestling. I certainly appreciate the impact that it's had, but I'm going to let you kind of carry it. So how do we want to get started, Lee and Wilson? Bulldog and Duck Slayer.
Well, I think we need to include your name on this too.
Yes,
Mr. Cosmonaut.
The
Cosmonaut.
I feel like I would be more of a promoter-producer guy. I'm not in the ring, but...
You certainly could be a Jimmy Hart.
Yes, you could be the Eddie Haskell. You could be the Eddie Haskell of Memphis wrestling, who was Jimmy Hart.
He was Mouth of the South, right? That was his name?
Yes. So you're familiar.
I've been doing some research. I will say, getting ready for this show, I went onto YouTube and just looked up some of the matches, and I had the best time. I didn't fully appreciate, honestly, some of the stuff that really birthed wrestling here in the city. But, growing up in Louisiana... What?
I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't in the air. I mean, it was birthed here, but this is an industry, and Memphis was the catalyst of all wrestling.
I believe that.
Wrestling was a regional deal. So, like New York had theirs. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there was something out west. Memphis, though, was known for their brawling. I mean, they just had their own image, and it was different than everybody else's, and it was huge, and it was awesome.
So you guys grew up with Saturday mornings in the Channel 5 studio. What was that like?
It was, because it was, I guess it started in 77, somewhere in that range on Channel 5, I think, somewhere in that. But it was equivalent to College Game Day. If you look back, because it came on at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you got up, you had your, bowl of Cheerios or Fruit Loops or whatever, or you were lucky enough, your mom or somebody to make you French toast or something. Mm-hmm. But then you went, there you go. But you went and you sat down and you watched Channel 5 wrestling.
So I'm at home watching Scooby-Doo. You guys are at home watching wrestling.
Yes.
Well, wrestling came on after Scooby-Doo.
Oh, was that like 11 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
So, but it was, you had Lance Russell, who was considered one of the best wrestling commentators ever, and you had the local news guy, Dave Brown, weather guy, and so Saturday mornings they talked about the weekly events of what happened as they were wrestling through the week, and then they would preview what the Monday night card was for Memphis. So you had the wrestlers in Memphis Saturday morning, and it was just freaking entertaining.
And these guys were character. These weren't just men in tights. Like, they all had personas. And they had good guys and bad guys, which was, honestly, that was a brilliant way to market it. It's one thing to just watch a couple of big guys get into the ring and throw each other around, but they had these whole backstories, and you had villains and you had the white hats.
Yes.
And the crowd got whipped up when the villains would come in. Again, I'm basing this on the videos that I watched. The crowd would boo and cuss at them and throw things at the bad guys, and they loved it. They ate it up.
You think college football fans are intense and crazy about their team, and NASCAR and all, wrestlers had their loyal fans too. And they showed up Saturday morning, and they showed up Monday night, and it was crazy.
The whole thing is so amazing in the fact that, it was marketing before marketing was really a thing. It was guerrilla marketing. They took what happened on, Monday night. Everything was to build the Monday night. And then you had, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. they would go from town to town around the region, around the territory, whether it was Jonesboro, Arkansas, Batesville, Mississippi, Oxford, you name it. They would hit all of those places day after day, hour after hour.
Channel 5 reached to Evansville, Indiana.
Yes.
So it was everywhere.
It was all over the place, and they were constantly hitting the market and doing that, and that made this boom, and it created the love for the good guys and the hate for the bad guys, and these guys were showmen.
Yeah.
I mean, they hammed it up. They hammed it up, and they got the crowd riled up and got after it.
Well, and then there was Jerry the King Lawler was the ultimate white hat. He had his goatee shaped like a crown, and I just remember him and superstar Bill Dundee, who was from Australia, and they started out as tag team buddies, but then they got their own rivalry to where they had the loser leave town match. They had the loser, shaves his head, and then there was the loser's wife has to shave her head.
What? Don't get the wife into this.
Yes. So,
honey, I've got bad news. I just got my ass kicked, and you're going to have to shave your head.
So, one of the best matches, and I don't really remember this one, but doing the research, so they were Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee were in Tupelo. And Tupelo did not have an arena at that time. It was an old body shop that they had converted into a studio, a wrestling arena.
They just needed a big open space.
The ropes were like water hoses.
And so...
What?
And so they were fighting the Blonde Bombers.
Okay.
Who was...
So this was a tag team match.
Yes. And it was Wayne Honky Tonk Man Ferris.
Now, was he the guy who dressed like Elvis? Honky Tonk Man? Am I misrepresenting?
I don't know.
All right, sorry. Keep on.
But anyway, so it was Wayne Honky Tonk Man Ferris and Larry Latham, who ended up becoming one of the Moondog Spot.
I have heard of those guys.
So, but they were wrestling in Tupelo, and the night was over
in a body shop.
And so they had built this concession stand out outside. And so anyway, I guess there was some controversial call or whatever, and
because the officials were always in on it.
Yes, and so they ended up having it ended up being the Tupelo concession stand brawl.
I saw this video. Keep talking.
And so they to add the flair. They were out in the hallway wrestling, and Lawler picks up a gallon bottle of mustard.
Yes.
And throws it at Honky Tonk Man Ferris, who was Jerry's cousin. But in real life, they did not like each other. But so the mustard flies, hits a 2x4, busts open, and they are just going at it in the concession stand area of the Tupelo body shop. And so, it's that kind of flair,
and the fans are going nuts.
Well, and that's what Memphis was known for, was the violence and the brawling, because it was more about that and the comedy and the the whole. It was the whole package, and that's what made Memphis wrestling so much better.
So talk about the Tupelo concession stand.
That was 1979.
I found that on YouTube. I also found one that happened in the Channel 5 parking lot, called the Parking Lot Brawl.
Okay.
Between Jerry Lawler and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. I get the impression those two are like bitter rivals, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And they start beating the crap out of one another at the little anchor desk in front of Dave Brown and Lance Russell. And it just rolls in. They knock over cameras. They're unplugging cables. Then they blow through the door into the parking lot. And they've got these security guards kind of standing around dumbfounded while these guys just beat the crap out of each other. Eddie Gilbert picks up Jerry Lawler, throws him through the windshield of a car that's parked in the parking lot. It was insane.
Yes.
It was absolutely insane. So obviously I get the impression that Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert was a famous bad guy.
Yeah.
Who are some other famous bad guys that you remember that you really hated?
Well, so Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee got sideways after so superstar Bill Dundee turned into a bad guy because, they had the loser leave town match and the, shave your head matches. And, Dutch Mantell, Dirty Dutch Mantell was another bad guy. Just a hairy beast, comes in with his cowboy hat and just thinks he's, anyway, you got to have the bad guy.
Plowboy Frazier.
Yeah.
Was he a bad guy?
Yeah.
Plowboy?
Mm-hmm. He was about 6'9".
What was
King Kong Bundy?
Yeah.
King Kong. I mean, and all of these guys had a backstory, right? Like, where did Plowboy? Well, I'm guessing he was like farmhand kind of guy from the rural neck of the woods.
Big old farming. I mean, he was a mammoth of a man.
And these guys would come in and insult the crowd. Like, again, one of the videos I saw was like, bring me the biggest redneck cigarette smoking moron Southern blah, 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 and I'll take you on in the ring. And they boo him and they're throwing stuff at him and he's just taking it in.
Yeah.
And so they're whipping this crowd into a frenzy. Everybody wants these bad guys to be laid out.
Well, and the bad guys have to win every now and then.
Sure.
Because one of the...
Got to keep it interesting.
Well, so Jerry Lawler...
I mean, it's real. I mean, you can't win every fight.
That's right. But Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee had a loser leave town, and Jerry had to leave town. Well, then ratings...
Oh, he lost.
Yes. But he lost, and then he had to leave town. So Bill Dundee was not the superstar that Jerry Lawler was. So they had to figure out a way
to get him back,
to get Jerry back. And then they had the, shave your head match. And then I don't know how Bill Dundee got his wife to shave her head, but
she did it.
But they did it right there in the ring.
Of course they did. I mean, so I took down a couple other names, and I know, and again, Lee, you mentioned this. Like, Memphis was the jumping off point for some of the more national. So
every good wrestler that ended up going on WWE came through Memphis.
Like Hulk Hogan, who's the one name that everybody thinks about in wrestling. The Rock Johnson. They
Andre the Giant.
They were in the Channel 5 studio beating somebody over the head.
Yeah, and for sure on Monday night they were here.
So Monday night they weren't in the Channel 5 studio.
No, they were in the Mid-South Coliseum.
The Mid-South Coliseum. Wow, did they do the echo reverb? Is that why you did that? I was like, are you having a stroke? Okay.
No, but I mean, it was huge. I mean, there was one night, I think the Coliseum holds 10,000 people, roughly.
8 to 10.
There was 11,300 people in the Mid-South Coliseum one night for Monday Night Wrestling.
I mean, it was nuts.
So by comparison,
we need to do an episode on the Coliseum.
The Mid-South Coliseum would be a great one, because there have been so many amazing events. But it was Mid-South Wrestling at the Mid-South Coliseum.
Yes.
And so you're saying 8 to 10,000 capacity at the Mid-South Coliseum. Channel 5 studio, which is those Saturday morning, was what, 3,000 maybe?
No. It was
like 50.
Those were 100 psycho blood-breathing fans.
Yeah, well, so they waited outside in line.
Yeah.
I mean, it was intense.
So, one of the villain tag teams was the Moondogs from parts unknown.
Meaning just some...
I had no idea.
They're like aliens.
I mean, come on. They're the Moondogs.
And they would each come out with, look like femur bones.
Yeah.
Holding on to it. They had cut off jeans with the frayed,
They were rough.
Big beard, just goofy looking. But, they would come out gnawing on their bones, and it was just like...
I love the shtick. So one of my grandmother, my mother's from Corinth. I think we've shared that in a previous episode. And we would come up and visit her every now and again. And I remember on a Saturday morning, she would have this show on. Because again, Channel 5 reached Corinth. And I remember that was the first time I ever got exposed to this. And the tag team thing drove me nuts. Because you'd have one guy in the ring just on the verge of death. Like he's done, he's wiped out. And he's trying to reach his partner over the rope. And he's straining and stretching. And he's 2 inches away and he just almost reaches him. And then his opponent slams him back to the mat. And it's like, just get up and touch this guy.
I know, but it's the drama.
It was super dramatic. And what I loved about it is my grandmother, again, she's the one who turned this on. She got into this stuff. It wasn't just for the young kids. Like, my grandma was into this.
Yes.
Oh, it was for everybody. I mean, and so there was a match on Saturday morning between Bill Dundee. Well, it wasn't a match, but it was, one of those. They had Bill Dundee out talking to Lance, and all of a sudden the Moondogs come out.
With their bones
and everything. And so Dundee's all scared, and he's backing around, picks up a chair, and then, he's walking around, and they force him into the ring, right? So he jumps in the ring to try to escape, and they just start attacking him. Well, one of the Moondogs hits him in the forehead with that bone, and just blood goes everywhere.
Oh, my God.
And so, and Bill Dundee's laying there flapping on the mat, and the Moondog grabs his head and then picks up his hand that's covered in blood, and he's walking around the ring showing the crowd.
And the crowd's
getting
just
them
upset. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They want to jump in the ring and help.
Yes. And so, after a few minutes, then the good guys come flying out
like
and force the
his
Moondog.
pals.
Yes. Come flying out, jump in the ring, force the Moondogs out. But when they did bleed, before the match, they would take a razor blade and cut their forehead.
Whoa. Stop right there. Are you telling me, Wilson, that this was not real?
Whoa.
I'm not saying that. I'm not.
No.
I just want, this is important.
Come on, man.
This is important.
Well, we're going to get to a story in a minute that, you'll wonder if it's real or not.
Okay.
But
you're alleging that they would use a razor blade to cut their head and get the blood going.
And so they would, before the match, they would cut their forehead with the razor blade, and it wouldn't, bleeds a lot, but it wouldn't take much to stop it. But it wouldn't take much to reopen it once.
Sure.
And so that's where all the blood would come through. So anyway, but it's just all that kind of drama, and the interaction is just wonderful.
Again, you mentioned marketing, Lee. It really was brilliantly done. Again, you've got these guys. I don't know how they came up with their backstories and their colleagues and their allies, and many of them had like the girl who tagged along with them and apparently had to get her hair shaved if her guy lost. But it really was your classic literary trick of good guys and bad guys. You got to have villains in order to make this interesting.
Yes.
If it was just guys wrestling, again, it would not be.
It's
all that
always
interesting.
good versus evil. Good versus evil. Everywhere, every time.
But then you've also got, they had their shtick, right? So, with Jerry Lawler, if he's in the ring and he's getting beat up, and he's got his one strap leotard or whatever you call it.
Yeah, I remember that. The one shoulder.
One shoulder. Well, when he had
call
enough.
it a onesie.
Well, when he had enough, he would pull that strap down, and then the crowd. It was like that. It's on.
Oh, really?
He was pissed, and it's going. I'm going to kick your hiney now. And it was. It just added for the flair.
Yeah.
I'll throw out
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. I was going to throw out some names.
The Nature Boy.
Yeah.
So these are guys who either starred in Mid-South Memphis wrestling or at least passed through on their way to stardom.
Correct.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yep.
Brickhouse Brown. Junkyard Dog.
Yep.
Ted DiBiase.
Yep.
I remember that guy.
The Fabulous Ones, they had their sequin tuxedo coats and their top hats, and they came out, to Shark Dressed Man by ZZ Top. It was some good action, man.
Jerry Fargo, the Jarrett brothers, Jeff Jarrett, and then his boys.
I thought he's a NASCAR driver.
Well, Jeff Jarrett was a major promoter, and he was one of the promoters, and he had his sons that were involved in it too. And then, who else was it? Was it the Fabulous?
Well, you had Coco Beware.
Coco Beware.
Was he the guy that did this? Did the bird?
Yeah, did the bird in the ring. He was also Sweet Brown Sugar when he was in Memphis.
Oh, my gosh.
Before Coco Beware.
So, it's just good stuff.
So you said you had a story about whether it's fake or not.
So I don't know if y'all remember Andy Kaufman.
Oh, yes. Saturday Night Live actor, a lot on Taxi back in the 70s. Yep.
So he was, he wrestled women. And so he considered himself the intergender champion.
Because he beat up women in the ring.
Yes. And so.
That was before everything.
And so, he was from New York. He went to New York, or he went to Madison Square Garden and was like, I want to do this in Madison Square Garden.
To beat up women, to fight women in the ring.
And so Vince McMahon Sr. was in charge of the New York wrestling scene. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, I'm not doing this. It's going to make wrestling look silly and stupid. I'm not doing it.
Because it doesn't.
So there was somebody there that heard this story, and he called Jerry Lawler. And Jerry Lawler said, he goes, Andy Kaufman wants to wrestle. And Jerry Lawler's like, what? And he goes, yes. And he wants to, do this. And Jerry's like, whatever, no. So I'm trying to remember if Andy Kaufman came to Memphis and did this, or if it was still in New York. But anyway, he got up there and wrestled 3 women. He beat the first 2, and then there was a lady called Foxy.
Oh my gosh.
And Foxy was giving Andy Kaufman all he wanted. And so Jerry,
as a woman named Foxy would.
And so they got into it, and anyway, Andy wins, but
It was a close match.
Lawler gets in the ring and throws Kaufman across the ring, and so then that got the whole thing like
That's what started it.
The crowd goes bananas when Jerry threw Kaufman across the ring, and he goes, "I think we can do this." Jerry's like, "I think we can have a singles match." So Kaufman starts, from Hollywood, starts calling Lawler a hillbilly and, what do you do down there? You farm and you do, just making fun of Tennessee and Lawler.
Bumpkins.
And so Lawler's like, I'm going to show you that wrestling is real. You're going to pay for these actions kind of talk. And so they get this whole thing going. Kaufman comes to Memphis, and so they get in the ring. Kaufman's dancing around, jumping out of the ring.
He's scared. Like
he's scared. He doesn't want any of this. And so finally, Jerry gets out of the ring and says, "Did you come here to wrestle or what?" And he goes, and so Jerry gets back in the ring, puts his hands behind his back, and says, "You can have the first one. Get me in a headlock. Do whatever you want. So Kaufman gets him in a headlock. And all of a sudden you see Lawler's hand, and the crowd starts going crazy because they know that Kaufman is not hurting him. Yeah. All right. So after that, the crowd starts going up and down.
Because he's already insulted the local crowd in a big way.
Yes.
And of course, Jerry Lawler is the local fan favorite.
That's right. So he picks up Andy Kaufman and does a back suplex.
A suplex.
Suplex. And
we'll have to look that up.
Well,
and then Kaufman is done.
Let me explain to you, a suplex real quick is when you get the guy, you lift them up with their head like right on your shoulder and your shoulder to shoulder, and you lift them up in the air with their feet in the air and straight up in there, and then you go backwards.
You just fall backwards.
Boom. Yeah.
So your opponent pretty much lands on his skull.
Well,
no, it's back.
No, it's back. Back.
Okay.
I mean, but it's almost to like put pressure, maybe break their neck.
Well, but this is coming. So Kaufman's laying there, and the crowd's going bananas. And so Lawler picks up Kaufman, puts him in the pile driver, which is your head between the legs, and you pick
that's a famous move. Yep.
Yes, but according to the
concussion giver,
but it's an illegal move. It was at the time.
The pile driver.
The Athletic Association or whatever said you can't do that.
Exactly.
And so
because there are rules.
There are rules to wrestling. It's got to be legal, right?
Sure. Like helmet contact in football. You can't do a pile driver.
That's ridiculous.
So he does the pile driver.
No program. Okay.
Kaufman is done, and the ref calls the fight because that was an illegal move. Lawler's disqualified. Well, the crowd is going bananas. Lawler picks him up again and does another pile driver. And so Kaufman, this is how it. So Kaufman was like telling the ref, "I need an ambulance. I need an ambulance." So Lawler gets out of the ring, picks up the microphone, and says, "We don't need to call him an ambulance. Let's get him a taxi."
Oh, because it's a throwback to his original 70s.
So the crowd goes even more wild. And anyways, and so then after the match, Kaufman is wearing a neck brace for months.
Famously.
And so, Kaufman saying...
Before we had the trial lawyers on TV, trying to convince you to sue everybody who hurt you.
So Kaufman, it starts blurbing out like, this is real, wrestling. I'm sorry I made fun of this sport. This is for... I am hurt.
I'm injured.
I am the victim here. And so then there's this whole banner back and forth. Kaufman's trying to play victim. And the next thing you know, Letterman invites Lawler and Kaufman to the Dave Letterman show.
And I've seen this video clip.
And so they are
that
supposed
was
to
national news.
Yes. And so, this is what put Memphis, made it the big time. And so, they go on the show. Kaufman's trying to insult him, and then Jerry just slaps the living stew out of...
On live television.
Yes. And so, Letterman has no idea what to do. Because they were supposed to come on and,
apologize. They were going to
apologize and kumbaya and all that stuff. Well, behind the scenes, Lawler and Kaufman were like, we're not doing that, Yeah. Anyway, so if you believe Andy Kaufman, it's real. But anyway, so Memphis wrestling, it was known as the brawling. It just...
Yeah.
It was just different than everybody else's, and people wanted to copy it. They had different, like the fireball, where Jerry Lawler would pull his, I don't know what it was, like a roll of matches, then he would light it and throw it on.
Well, that seems illegal. That seems illegal.
Well, I mean, but they had cage matches, they had handcuff matches where you had to be tagged to, handcuffed together.
It's always okay to use a folding chair.
True enough. Metal
or a
folding chairs
crutch
were
or
good.
whatever you could get your hands on.
Yeah.
And then, of course, again, one of the videos I saw was the time that, again, Jerry Lawler and what's the guy's name? Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Right? They were fighting. It rolled into the parking lot. This was a second parking lot brawl where Eddie Gilbert climbs into his 1988 Mercury Sable and runs over Jerry Lawler. You can look that one up as well. Runs over him in the parking lot.
Nice.
See, it's real. I mean, there's no way you cannot have injuries from that stuff.
That's right.
Bad stuff. All right. What do you got, Lee?
So bottom line is that, hey, we need to get back to the fact that, our local expert, Harold Grader, was here, and Harold gave us some great insight to wrestling in Memphis. Real live stories.
He literally was an intern at Channel 5 and then a sports producer when all of this was at its heyday. So he was on the front row.
Hear what Harold has to say.
Oh, yeah, music to my ears. Son of a gun. Hello again, everybody. Lance Russell and Dave Brown, and we're right along ringside all ready to kick it off for another big day.
Of course, growing up here, I mean, initially it was on Channel 13 with Lance and Dave over on Highland with Channel 13. Then Dave made the move. Lance made the move. They brought the show to WMC, and wow, it just went off the scales.
Yeah,
because we would show wrestling highlights on Monday nights.
Right.
We got criticized for that. Because is it real? Is it fake? What are you doing? Putting wrestling results on the news. When I got out of college, was working weekends, and then eventually anchoring on the weekends. Back in those days, most of us would park in the back of the building, where that back door in that time, you came into basically where what we refer to as the canteen. It's where the vending machines were, the break room, and that's where the bad guys stayed on Saturday morning.
The villains.
That's where they we had dressing rooms and showers and stuff like that, but that was where they would hang out. And then there were our two studios at Action News 5 at TV5, and there was the production studio where they did commercials and the wrestling show, and then you had the news studio. Well, the good guys stayed in the news studio.
So they literally separated the villains from the white hats.
Absolutely.
Oh.
So as time went along, because when I was anchoring, I'd come to work, I don't know, noonish, whatever, as the wrestling show was wrapping up.
Yeah.
So I would come in that back door, and that's where the quote unquote bad guys were. And once enough time went along, and they learned that, hey, here's the sports guy, and especially during football season. And I got to know all the bad guys.
Yeah.
And they would stop. They'd want to talk football or whatever else was going on. So I got to know all the bad guys.
So who was your favorite bad guy?
Ooh.
Dutch Mantel?
Maybe Dutch Mantel.
Yeah.
The Dirty Dutchman.
The Dirty Dutchman.
Nice.
And, it was just the dynamics around it. All the wrestling groupies.
The groupies.
You're waiting for the guys to come out of the station.
Man, I had forgotten
I
about the
wouldn't even have
groupies.
thought there would have been wrestling groupies.
But then also that piece of they have after the Saturday morning show, they've got a show in Jonesboro or Cape Girardeau.
Tupelo.
Everybody's piling into the same car. The good guys and the bad guys ride.
That's
We
right.
got to get to the next show, right?
Yeah.
But it was quite a phenomenon, because you look back and the show The Rock, that was a part of that NBC series of he started here. His dad Rocky Johnson was here. But you look back over the history of wrestling, and anybody who was anybody came through Memphis
It's
and
exactly right.
WMC. Yes,
For what is such a huge industry today.
yes.
I mean, and it's just the way that they went from small town to small town right after Channel 5 Saturday
bet.
mornings, and the way that
The
they
territory,
as
they would refer to, around the territory.
I mean, they market it. I mean, that's brilliant.
Oh, absolutely. And ultimately, it was about Monday night at the Coliseum.
Yep.
Yes.
It was all to set up whatever the card was for Monday night.
I gotta ask, were you there for the parking lot brawl between Lawler and what the guy?
I want to say I got there after that had happened, but
Hot
there was a
Stuff
lot
Eddie
of
Gilbert.
there was aftermath, and the studio doors that went out to the parking lot. It was crazy.
And Eddie Gilbert ran over him ran over Lawler with his Mercury Sable. It's like, folks, he's needing doctor's attention. He's going to need help.
Don't want to tell a story on my sister, but my sister had a 30-plus year career at St. Francis. And most of her career was on the ortho floor.
Sure.
At St. Francis. And one of her patients just happened to be
Andy Kaufman.
Are you serious? Did she put the neck brace on him when he went to Letterman?
I asked her about it, and she, being the true professional that she was, she would not answer my question.
This is before HIPAA.
She would just say, she would only confirm, yes, he is a patient at St. Francis.
God. Oh,
wow.
Other than that, I'm not telling you anything.
So that was probably a headline on the news show, right?
The pile driver,
Andy Kaufman being in the hospital.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to say Jerry tells the story now of when that happened, that they get to Andy in the ring, and he's saying, call an ambulance. And Lawler, he's down, there, and he's, we're not going to call an ambulance. That'll cost us $500. And they're like, call an ambulance. And, so we all know the next brace and being hauled out of there. And,
Oh, my God.
Classic
what a
stuff.
show.
Classic stuff.
What a show.
Those were the best stories. Again, we can talk about our own memories all we want, but to have Harold sharing what it was like in the studio with those guys, awesome stuff. All right, quick segue. We're wrestling with some bourbon pours in front of us, Lee, and you normally lead the blind tasting. So tell us what we got.
So we've got a blind tasting now. We have 3 single barrels.
Three.
Trace. 1, 2, 3.
One's called the pile driver, one's called the body slam, and one is called the suplex, right?
Suplex.
Yeah. Okay. So start off with the one closest to you,
the pile driver,
and check out the pile driver. Tell me what you think about the nose.
I think the pile driver may be last because that may do us in.
Okay. This is the body slam.
These are all tastes for everyone out there.
Yes. Honestly, I'm not getting much from the nose, but in fairness, I think I have a sinus infection. So don't come to me on the.
All right.
On the
I think the nose is pretty good on this first one.
I'm getting a little more ether, but maybe that's just because it's but I do get some maple. I'm getting some maple and some.
I think this is these. Just so you know, these are all the same distillery, just 3 different single barrels,
and they're all single barrels. So spicy is coming through. I'm not getting a lot of sweet notes, but I'm getting good spice, and maybe some smoke notes.
Yeah.
This is a modest.
It's warm from beginning to end.
It's a modest proof. 110 would be my guess.
Okay. First one, you're thinking 110.
Now, are you asking us to go up the line?
I think you need to go. I want you to tell me which one. Tell us. I guess tell us what you think about the first one, second one, and third one. What are you picking up? And then also at the end, we want to rank which one you think you like best.
Okay. So first one, spicy, smoky, 110 proof would be my guess.
I think that the second one has a better nose.
I'm getting the nose. Despite my sinus infection, I'm getting the nose.
Okay.
But it's. I mean, smooth is not a smell, but it just doesn't have that ether burn, and it's a little smoother. But it's still. I mean, you get the brown sugar.
You get a lot of corn.
Oh, excuse me. Pile driver.
And
yes, on the grains. Yes, this is a grainier. You can on the front end anyway. You're getting a lot of grain. It finishes smooth.
It really does.
This finishes smoother than the first one.
And then I get a lot of earthy. I guess some leather tobacco. Not a significant.
No,
but
there's some
earthy
leather. I don't get the tobacco, but I do get.
I think definitely leather.
So far, neither of these have a lot of fruity or
there's not
classic
a ton of
sweet notes, caramel or fruit. This is very grain, very earthy, as you said. All right, we're moving to number 3.
The pile driver.
Or was that the suplex? I don't know. Clear your palate. Drink some water.
So, what's your favorite?
Well, hold on. I haven't done 3 yet.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just a
I'm
minute,
trying to rush
Speedy
you.
Gonzalez.
I didn't say I finished them. I just was asking. I'm trying to keep the words moving, baby.
Sure you are. You don't like silence. Neither does Bill. So he
I'm
thinks.
very uncomfortable with a podcast that's quiet.
Okay.
I like the pile driver the best. The third one. It's smoother from front to back.
It's smoother. I like the second one actually a little better.
I hear what you're screaming.
I'm not screaming. We're just talking.
All right. So
It's good.
I'm sitting here thinking about Andy Kaufman wrestling women.
So you're ranked then.
Number 2,
Okay.
then number 3, then number 1.
2, 3, 1. Wilson.
I would say 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
So
3, 2, 1. I am a 3, 2, 1 also. So, all right. So
Can we go back through?
yeah, go
Sure
back
enough.
through.
Sure enough. Wait, I want to. Does this sound like a ring bell? Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, entering the ring, the Moondogs
From parts unknown.
from parts unknown with a femur, with a femur bone in their hand. All right, sorry. What are we drinking, Lee?
So we are what we're drinking here is we have one. The first one, the first one was a Cheers single barrel. It's a Yellowstone. It is 109 proof.
Oh, I said 110.
It was barreled May 20th of 2019.
Okay.
That was 1. 2 is the double G pick. Which,
Double G.
Yeah, that this is corks, and it is a proof of 115, and the date is October 15th of 2018.
115. The OG.
The double.
And then number 3, the pile driver, was also a corks pick, and it is 109 proof,
Okay.
and it was bottled on May the 15th of 2017.
Wow. Some old stuff.
Yeah, this one, this number 3 was actually one that it was a store pick that I found when I was, I guess, in COVID early before COVID, run around COVID, and it was so good, and so I may have bought a couple of bottles of that.
So where is that distilled?
This is distilled in Lebanon, Kentucky.
Lebanon, Kentucky.
Absolutely,
That's good stuff.
it's good stuff.
I do like 3 the best, though, I would have to say. It's just smoother from...
I wish you'd have said that earlier, Wilson.
Well, at the end of the day, you have 3 different bottles, 3 different years, pretty same.
3 different barrels.
From a consistency. The consistency's the same, but
Very
so,
different.
So I think that's one of the beauties again of bourbon, and the fact that you can have different barrels that take on different flavors, and that's what makes it unique.
So I always want to ask,
Just like us.
just like us, we're all assorted. What availability and price range, roughly? I don't need them all, but
You can find Yellowstone single barrels out there pretty regularly. I know at most of the larger liquor stores you can for sure. I'm not a fan of their bottom tier.
Just their regular bottle.
The regular bottle. I'm not a big fan of the Yellowstone.
so you're a single barrel.
I think that there's some single barrels out there, and again, if you go to a store and you need to ask them, do they have a single barrel out there that you could taste before you buy it? Because I have had a couple of them that were not good.
All right, I'm going to ask a question.
Okay.
And I don't know the answer, and I don't know if this is part of a gimmicky thing, but was Yellowstone out before the show came out?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like it's but it made it more popular because of the show, maybe.
Great show.
It is a good show.
I think.
But I'm just asking, I don't know.
I think it's just in the name. I don't think it was because of because they didn't feature it in the show.
No, they didn't. They never did. But I just,
So yeah, like wrestling, you want to know if this is fake.
Come on, man! I know it's not fake.
I'm about to get thrown across the room.
No,
aren't I?
I will say,
Suplex.
mistakes happen when you're wrestling, even if it's WWE.
Sure.
It's dangerous.
It's gotta hurt.
Jumping off of ladders and landing.
Well, if
on
you're at the
people.
top of the cage and you're jumping on somebody, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And even if the table is already broken, it's just braced, and you throw somebody in it, it's going to hurt, isn't it?
I would think so.
Okay.
So is there a point to that?
No.
Is that you can get hurt.
Other than you can
get hurt.
Okay.
You can get hurt in wrestling, whether it's
right.
fake or real. You figure it out.
It's real.
I'll be honest. When I first moved to the city, I scoffed at the whole wrestling thing. I thought it was goofy and silly, and I didn't understand why people are getting so worked up. I get it now. I appreciate it now, and you guys have helped me do that. So thank you.
You're more than welcome.
I'm glad you got to try some new flavors.
Always, man. Always.
Never go stale.
All right, we're going to talk about interacting with us, right? We need to hear from you listeners. If you got famous wrestling memories, if you had some encounters with some of these wrestlers, we'd love to hear about it. Send us an email.
At 3assortedcrackers@gmail.com.
Yes, Leah's at the wheel ready to respond to you. And we do need as many of you to follow us on Instagram as possible. We post as many pictures as we can, and that's a great way to interact as well. And the Assorted Crackers Instagram page is
At 3assortedcrackers.
pretty simple, right? You can keep up with that.
And guys, also, if you like what you're hearing, give us a good rating and share it. Tell your friends about it.
Thanks, everybody, for your time. Everybody, don't be afraid to try new flavors.
And don't go stale.
Let's see, Lance, yeah. Hey, Jerry, Lance. We wanted to get you on the phone out here today and talk about this situation with Gilbert, the son of a gun. You know, when I say it's getting serious, I can't believe the stuff that they're pulling now.
Yeah, well, you know, I'll tell you, Lance, there's got to be a stop put to this one way or the other. You know, we're gonna get things working here shortly. You know,
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah. Okay. Hey, listen. Come on.
Now listen, this is 3 weeks now, Lawler. If you're not man enough to come down here and face me man to man, why don't you quit having Lance Russell call you? I'm sick and tired of this. I'm the new king here. You only talk on this program when I want you to talk. Well, you're a gutless wonder now, something, right?
you can run your mouth all you want to, brother, but
You're exactly right about that. If I want to, if I don't. So bye-bye, King.
Okay, I'll tell you, you're talking about sick and tired. I am getting sick and tired of you coming out here every week. I'm in the middle of a phone conversation. You come out here and grab the phone and slam the thing up, and
I'm glad you're sick and tired, Lance, because you know this past week when I was talking to my brother Doug and my dad Tommy and Missy this week, and you know, and I was thinking about all the legends since I've been on the Legends Slayer now, right? All the legends that I've put out the pasture. The first one, of course, was your king, Jerry Lawler.
all right, don't get into that.
Today, I just happen to have a little surprise for you.
All right, now listen, Eddie. I got a little surprise for you, maybe. Yeah, I got a little surprise. You know Jerry Lawler? I was just talking to him before you interrupted on that. You know where I was calling to him for?
Sure, his house.
Think again. You got another thing coming. I was talking to him right out of the television. Jerry Lawler is right here, right there. You got something to say to me, you go say it to him. Look out, baby. So we just thought he would let him think that Jerry Lawler was not around and out in the home. Lawler pounded on him. Whoa, there they go. That's the parking lot you're looking at. Jerry Lawler and Eddie Gilbert. That's Lawler right there. I don't know where Gilbert took off, I guess. Here comes the king.
Let me tell you something, Eddie Gilbert. I can stand a lot more than that, Lance. I can stand anything, Gilbert, that you can dish out. Believe me, brother, you can't touch me on your best day. I promise you, Eddie Gilbert. I hope you get close enough to me for me to get my hands on you, because I promise you, I'll do the same thing to you. Eddie Gilbert! Stop, Eddie Gilbert! You're going to be real hot, brother.
The king.